Hey everyone, and welcome back to the sports section. So, I know it's been a while since I made a video, but I do think that with all the noise, all the negativity around Chelsea, I have to force myself to come back and actually share my opinion. I've been sharing my opinion on X for quite a while now with a different account, but I'm back with making lots of videos, a bit more positivity, because I do think that most of the fans are sick and tired of hearing the usual big accounts on X thinking that they speak for the majority of us, thinking that it's okay to always blame Pochettino for everything that's gone wrong at the club. Remember, the guy is not even here a whole season, and yet some of the people already want him out. The same people were pretty excited when he was appointed. Now, I'm not saying he's not at fault at all. No, he's partially to blame for the problem. But I do think that the problem does not only lie with Pochettino, but it lies with the person above him. Sporting directors, technical directors, and the owners. Plus, of course, the players that make lots of individual mistakes during each and every game. Because remember, Pochettino is not the one on the field playing. He picks the 11 best player he thinks will perform the best during the game. Then, whatever happens during the game, of course, he can have his substitutions. But other than that, if individual mistakes happen, it's a mistake of that individual player on the field, not on Pochettino. Because I've seen plenty of comments of people saying, oh, this player is incredible performance, incredible growth throughout the season. Zero praise for Pochettino. But then when a player underperforms throughout the season, even though last season he wasn't great either, not going to name names yet, there's going to be a next video, then it's always Pochettino's fault. Oh, this player has not evolved under Pochettino. But then other players, I'll name a name now because it's pretty clear who, it's Cole Palmer. He's performing miracles for us this season, yet zero praise for Pochettino on the positive effects of Cole Palmer's growth and effect on the team. I find the hypocrisy levels are going through the roof. Now, again, going back to the main point here, who's to blame? Lots of people are to blame. But in my opinion, the blame should be with the people that attract the new players, right? Those that push the transfer, those that push the transfer policy of going after inexperienced young players and thinking that it will work out, right? The owners having their young policy, oh, if you're over 26 years old, we're not going to come for you, right? The James Maddison story that got leaked not so long ago, whether or not it's true or not. I mean, looking at the player we've bought, it's pretty clear that they went all out for young and inexperienced player and put them on 8-year contracts and hope for the best, basically. Really hope for the best, and we, the fans, expect the worst. Now, that just doesn't make any sense. No successful club will ever win anything if you field 11 inexperienced young players. If you want to buy prospects, if you want to buy talent, no problem. But at least mix talent with experience. That way, that talent can do whatever he wants. Well, not whatever he wants, but can take more risks on the pitch. Because he knows that next to him, in front of him, behind him, he has experienced players who can back him up. Right now, what do we have? We have maybe 2-3 experienced players and that's about it. And all the rest are like YOLO buys and let's see what happens. Yeah, okay, we're seeing what happens. We're now 12th. Okay, we still have 2 games in hand. If we win those 2 games, including the Manchester United game, we are now back in the top 8. And then let's see if we can go on a good run throughout the rest of the season and potentially even achieve a European spot. Now, going back to the main point, Todd Boehly, what did he recently say? Well, he said this: we just need to let the process develop and give them the time to go from being unbelievable individual players with great skill to fold into a team. The good news is people care so much, and the bad news is people care so much. That leads to times when they're frustrated with the team and the owners. I get that, but we just have to continue to stay on the course. I want to go back to the first point here, saying that we have to give them time from being unbelievable individual players with great skills. Sorry to say this, but the amount of money that this club has spent on players that have yet to prove that they're unbelievable players is laughable. Because if we really look at our transfers, if we really look at the amount we've spent, how is it possible that we are still not happy with the way our team is built, right? We have no experienced number 9. Our most experienced player is probably not going to sign a new contract, Thiago Silva, at the end of the season. Leadership at the back is lacking. No backup. Okay. Midfield, we spent over 200 million on Caicedo and Enzo. Yet, do they produce the goods? In my opinion, they do not. For the amount of money that you paid for them, they're not producing the goods at all. No assists, no goals, well, at least nothing substantial. How come we have no leader already in the midfield? Because to have a good defensive line, you need one, experienced defenders, or at least one good leader, which is Thiago Silva, but he's not playing anymore. He's not going to play for us next season either, probably. And a general in front of them, right? The likes of Rodri, Fernandinho that we've seen at Manchester City, the likes of Declan Rice, the likes of Matic that we had, Mikel, those types of people, Frankie de Jong, Sergio Busquets, Modric, Casemiro, Kroos, etc., etc., etc. We do not have those players. And so, again, to blame everything on Pochettino is just such an hypocritical statement to make from a lot of the big accounts, which just doesn't make any sense, because these accounts have been pushing and pushing for the club to sign all of the inexperienced young players for the sake of what? For the sake of maybe potentially being future stars? This isn't FIFA. This isn't Football Manager. This is real life. Things don't work out the way they work out in video games. Maybe they want to get likes and retweets and stuff like that and grow on social media. Maybe, potentially, that's also one of the reasons. But let me read you a couple of statements, or let's say statistics, from Dean here on X, a great follow. So he says, Chelsea have made 16 individual mistakes leading to an opponent's shot on target in the Premier League this season. Only 2 teams have made more. Chelsea have missed 55 big chances in the Premier League this season. Only 2 teams have missed more. We need to start having honest conversations. And again, he is 100% correct here. We need to have the real conversation here. The real conversation here is that Chelsea have been buying the wrong players, in my opinion, have been paying too much for wrong players and have not focused on the key issue. Now, of course, you might say, okay, but if we're making so many individual mistakes, isn't it also the fault of the coach? Why is he picking those players? Well, first of all, have you seen how many injuries we've had this season? It's not like he has the luxury of picking the best of the best each and every week. No, since most of the best have always been injured throughout the season. Second of all, these are individual mistakes that happen defense, midfield, and attack. I mean, at a certain point, you have to admit that you cannot blame the coach anymore. The coach is working with what he has. A great coach is only as good as the player make him to be. We cannot compare Pochettino with our great successful coaches of the past, because our great successful coaches of the past had experience in the team. Yes, even Tuchel had experience in the team. For some reason, I don't know how, but he managed to win the Champions League. I don't think he can repeat that feat with the same team, but it happened. But still, he had talent, he had experience as well, and probably he had some luck with that. I think we can all admit that winning the Champions League with that team was extremely lucky. So, going back to the main point, not dragging this video out for too long, I think blaming Pochettino for all our issues is a big mistake. It's going to bite us back in the back. I think if we sack him, probably not now, maybe at the end of the season, depending on the results we're getting in the last couple of games. But my opinion, it's going to be rinse, repeat again and again. It's not the fault of the manager. It's probably the fault of the recruitment. It's probably the fault of the owners, and definitely the fault of a lot of the spoiled, overpaid players that really do not put in the performance week in, week out. But hey, if some big accounts want to get some likes, some views, some attention, saying that they hope that Chelsea loses so that the club will sack Poch, yeah, then maybe they'll have the same conversation a year from now. They just have to switch the name Pochettino to someone else, because I can assure you that that manager will also be sacked. If you don't fix the root problem, doesn't really matter what happens at the top. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if not, do share your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.